Love is not always soft. Sometimes it arrives like a beautiful storm, with lightning in its eyes and promises in its voice, only to leave you standing in the ruins of what you thought would be forever. There are zodiac signs that love gently, predictably, safely. And then there are the signs that pull you in so deeply, so magnetically, so irresistibly, that by the time you realize how dangerous they are for your heart, you are already emotionally entangled. These are not always the cruelest signs. In fact, that is exactly what makes them so difficult. They can be intoxicating, unforgettable, wildly romantic, emotionally brilliant, and impossible to replace. But loving them often means loving mystery, contradiction, silence, distance, mood swings, impossible expectations, or emotional games you never agreed to play. Some zodiac signs do not break hearts because they mean to. They break them because they are built from extremes. They test love, hide love, fear love, and crave it with the same intensity. One day they make you feel chosen by fate, and the next they leave you doubting everything. They can be passionate but unstable, loyal but controlling, tender but unreachable, or deeply attached while pretending they do not care at all. These are the people who can make you lose sleep, question your worth, and replay old conversations in your head long after the relationship is over. And yet, these same signs are often the ones people fall for the hardest, because what they give, when they truly give it, feels rare and almost supernatural. So who are the 5 zodiac signs most likely to leave scars on the heart if they are unhealed, immature, or emotionally conflicted? Who can love you in a way that feels like destiny, but hurt you in a way that feels impossible to recover from? And with whom do these signs actually build their strongest, healthiest, most lasting bonds? Let's open the doors to the zodiac's most dangerous love stories and reveal the real secrets. 1. Scorpio, October 23, November 21st. If you fall in love with Scorpio, you are not entering an ordinary relationship. You are stepping into emotional deep water, where everything is intense, private, magnetic, and a little dangerous. Scorpio does not do light affection. They want depth, loyalty, possession, obsession, truth, and soul-level connection. At first, this can feel like the most powerful love you have ever known. Scorpio sees through masks. They make you feel discovered. They listen to your silences. They notice what hurts you before you say a word. And that is exactly why heartbreak with them cuts so deeply. The same person who once understood your soul can become the one who knows exactly where your emotional weak spots are. Relationships with Scorpio are difficult because they rarely love halfway. Their feelings are volcanic, but so are their fears. Scorpio is terrified of betrayal, and because of that, they can become suspicious, controlling, emotionally secretive, or quietly manipulative. If they sense dishonesty, emotional distance, or shifting loyalty, they may begin testing you instead of talking to you. They can withdraw without explanation, punish with silence, or turn cold when they are actually hurting the most. Being with Scorpio often means feeling adored and doubted at the same time. They may crave total intimacy, yet still hide parts of themselves behind walls you cannot break. What makes them traumatic in love is not a lack of feeling, but too much feeling mixed with distrust. Scorpio remembers everything, every broken promise, every strange tone, every emotional inconsistency. If they have been hurt before, they may enter love ready for war, even when you came offering peace. And if the relationship collapses, Scorpio rarely leaves cleanly. Their energy lingers. The bond haunts. They are one of the hardest signs to forget because they do not just enter your life, they enter your emotional bloodstream. If you want to connect your fate with Scorpio, expect passion, fierce loyalty, jealousy, emotional extremes, and a bond that can transform you completely. But also expect tests, secrecy, and moments when you will wonder whether they are protecting their heart or punishing yours. Best matches for Scorpio: Cancer, Pisces, Virgo, and Capricorn. Cancer and Pisces understand Scorpio's emotional depth. Virgo offers steadiness and devotion. Capricorn brings strength, loyalty, and the emotional discipline Scorpio secretly respects. 2. Gemini, May 21, June 20th. Gemini is one of the most charming heartbreakers in the zodiac, not because they are heartless, but because they are restless. Falling for Gemini feels thrilling from the very first moment. They are witty, magnetic, mentally electric, flirtatious, playful, and impossible to ignore. They know how to make you laugh, think, wonder, and feel alive. With Gemini, love feels exciting, spontaneous, and full of possibility. But this is also where the danger begins. Gemini can make you believe you are building something profound when they are still deciding what they actually feel. Relationships with Gemini become difficult because their emotional rhythm is unpredictable. They are ruled by change, curiosity, and contradiction. One side of Gemini wants closeness, romance, and deep connection. The other side needs freedom, novelty, and space to breathe. They may pursue you intensely, talk to you for hours, make you feel like the center of their universe, and then suddenly become distant, distracted, or emotionally unavailable. Not always because they stop caring, but because their inner world moves so quickly that consistency can be a real struggle. Gemini can be traumatic in love when they are immature, because they often avoid emotional heaviness until it is too late. They may joke instead of confessing pain, disappear into work or social life instead of dealing with conflict, or keep one foot emotionally outside the relationship in case their feelings change. Loving Gemini can sometimes feel like trying to hold sunlight in your hands, warm, beautiful, impossible to keep still. They are not always the sign that betrays through action, but they often wound through inconsistency. They leave people confused. They send mixed signals. They can make you feel adored one week and emotionally forgotten the next. If you connect your fate with Gemini, expect a relationship full of chemistry, conversation, laughter, adventure, and intellectual seduction. But also expect emotional complexity. Gemini needs a partner who does not try to cage them, drain them, or demand constant predictability. If they feel trapped, they detach quickly. If they feel misunderstood, they become emotionally slippery. And if they are bored, the relationship starts dying long before they admit it. Best matches for Gemini: Libra, Aquarius, Aries, and Leo. Libra matches their charm and mental energy. Aquarius gives them freedom and depth. Aries brings excitement and movement. Leo gives warmth, confidence, and strong romantic momentum. 3. Capricorn, December 20 to January 19th. Capricorn may surprise people on this list because they do not look like the kind of sign that breaks hearts dramatically. They are composed, mature, responsible, and often deeply loyal. But this is exactly why love with Capricorn can become so painful. They rarely break you with chaos. They break you with distance, with emotional restraint, with love that feels earned instead of freely given. Capricorn is one of the hardest signs to be with if you need constant reassurance, emotional softness, or romantic transparency. They can love you deeply and still leave you starving for visible affection. Relationships with Capricorn are difficult because they tend to protect themselves through control. They respect strength, discipline, ambition, and reliability. They do not trust easily, and they usually reveal their heart in layers, very slowly. At first, this can feel safe and respectable. But over time, many partners begin to feel that they are always trying to prove they are worthy of Capricorn's full love. Capricorn may prioritize work, duty, image, future plans, or personal goals so heavily that their partner starts feeling emotionally secondary. They are capable of devotion, but they are not always skilled at expressing tenderness in the moment it is needed most. What makes Capricorn traumatic in love is emotional deprivation. They can be present physically, committed officially, even loyal for years, and still make you feel lonely inside the relationship. When hurt, Capricorn becomes colder, prouder, and more silent. They do not always fight for love in obvious ways. Sometimes they retreat behind routine, logic, or stubbornness and expect the other person to just endure it. They are also extremely hard on themselves, which often makes them hard on the people they love. Their standards are high, and their disappointment can feel heavy, even when they say very little. If you connect your fate with Capricorn, expect commitment, stability, ambition, protection, and a love that is built for the long road. But also expect emotional walls, delayed vulnerability, and moments when you will wonder whether they are loving you silently or simply keeping you at a distance. Capricorn is a powerful partner for the right person, but for a sensitive heart, they can feel like winter, beautiful, dignified, and painfully cold. Best matches for Capricorn: Taurus, Virgo, Scorpio, and Pisces. Taurus gives loyalty and grounded affection. Virgo understands Capricorn's discipline and inner pressure. Scorpio respects their strength and emotional endurance. Pisces softens Capricorn and brings warmth to their guarded heart. 4. Aries, March 21, April 19th. Loving Aries can feel like being set on fire in the most beautiful way. They are bold, thrilling, passionate, fearless, and impossible to ignore. When Aries wants you, you feel it immediately. There is no mystery in the beginning. They pursue hard, love fast, speak directly, and make romance feel exciting, spontaneous, and alive. Being chosen by Aries can feel like being swept into a movie where everything is brighter, hotter, faster, and more intense than ordinary life. But that same fire that makes them irresistible can also make them one of the most painful signs to love when things begin to go wrong. Relationships with Aries are difficult because they live by impulse. They act before they reflect, speak before they soften, and react before they fully understand what they are feeling. In love, this can create an emotional roller coaster. Aries may adore you one moment, then explode in frustration the next. They do not always mean to wound, but they can be sharp, impatient, and careless with words when angry. They want honesty, loyalty, admiration, and excitement, but they do not always know how to slow down enough to build emotional safety. Sometimes they crave the thrill of winning someone over more than the quieter work of sustaining intimacy. What makes Aries traumatic in love is their intensity mixed with emotional immaturity. They can make you feel like the most desired person in the world, then leave you shocked by how quickly affection turns into coldness, irritation, or distance after conflict. Aries hates feeling controlled, criticized, or emotionally cornered. If the relationship becomes too heavy, too repetitive, or too demanding, they may start pulling away or becoming combative without clearly explaining what has changed. They also have a strong ego, and when pride gets involved, they may rather fight than admit vulnerability. That can leave their partner exhausted, confused, and emotionally bruised. If you want to connect your fate with Aries, expect excitement, chemistry, protection, passion, and a relationship that never feels dull. But also expect impatience, sudden arguments, competitive energy, and moments when you feel like you are loving someone who is still learning how to handle the power of their own emotions. Aries can be deeply loyal when mature, but when unhealed, they can turn love into a cycle of passion and pain. Best matches for Aries: Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, and Aquarius. Leo matches Aries in fire and confidence. Sagittarius understands their freedom-loving nature. Gemini keeps things lively and mentally stimulating. Aquarius gives space while still holding strong individuality. 5. Pisces, February 19, March 20th. Pisces is the sign many people never expect to find on a list like this. And yet heartbreak with Pisces can be some of the deepest in the zodiac. Why? Because Pisces does not love in ordinary ways. They love with imagination, longing, tenderness, idealism, and emotional fusion. When Pisces falls for you, it can feel like something sacred. They make you feel seen in your softness, accepted in your brokenness, and adored in a way that feels almost spiritual. They can be romantic beyond words, intuitive beyond logic, and emotionally generous to the point that you believe you have finally found your safe place. But that dreamlike love can become dangerous when reality enters the room. Relationships with Pisces are difficult because they often fall in love with potential, fantasy, and emotional possibility, not just with the actual person in front of them. At first, this feels magical. They believe in you, feel you deeply, and love with a tenderness that many signs cannot match. But Pisces can become disappointed just as deeply as they once became enchanted. When reality does not match the dream, they may withdraw, become passive, emotionally elusive, or quietly resentful. They do not always confront problems directly. Instead, they may escape into silence, avoidance, moodiness, self-pity, or a private emotional world where you can no longer reach them. What makes Pisces traumatic in love is emotional confusion. They can send mixed signals without meaning to. They may love you deeply and still disappear emotionally when overwhelmed. They may forgive too much, tolerate too much, dream too much, and then suddenly break down under the weight of everything they never said. Pisces often hurts people not through cruelty, but through vagueness, emotional inconsistency, and the inability to draw clear boundaries. Loving Pisces can feel like holding a beautiful melody that changes every time you think you know it. One day they are all heart, soul, and devotion. The next, they are drifting somewhere you cannot follow. If you want to connect your fate with Pisces, expect romance, compassion, sensuality, emotional depth, and a bond that can feel almost cosmic. But also expect tears, idealization, emotional fog, and moments when you are not sure whether you are loved for who you are or for the dream they built around you. Pisces can be a soulmate sign at their best, but when wounded or lost, they can leave behind heartbreak that feels hauntingly unfinished. Best matches for Pisces: Cancer, Scorpio, Taurus, and Capricorn. Cancer gives emotional safety and tenderness. Scorpio offers depth and devotion. Taurus brings grounding and consistency. Capricorn gives Pisces structure, protection, and a sense of stability. The real secret behind these 5 signs: Scorpio, Gemini, Capricorn, Aries, and Pisces are not the worst signs to love. In fact, that is exactly why they are so dangerous. They are often the signs people remember forever. They awaken something powerful. They create chemistry that feels rare. They make love feel intense, meaningful, unforgettable, and larger than life. But if they are unhealed, emotionally unavailable, self-protective, immature, or afraid of true intimacy, they can leave deep wounds in the hearts of those who love them sincerely. Some break you with silence, some with inconsistency, some with pride, some with emotional storms, some with beautiful promises they cannot fully live up to. And yet every one of these signs also has the power to become an extraordinary partner when they grow, mature, and stop fighting their own hearts. The real danger is not the zodiac sign itself. The real danger is falling for someone whose soul is still at war with love. So before you give your heart away, ask yourself one question. Are you falling for their potential, or are you ready for their reality? Because with these 5 signs, the difference can be everything.